Hello and welcome to QED's Data 5 from part S8. Now we're going to import this data on Tajikistan from the spreadsheet. Before we do this, note that it gets a bit more complicated here because when you look at the Excel file for, that's the wrong one, for Tajikistan, which is this data here, as well as the data, we've got this code bit here. Now an advantage of Excel is you can have things like this. Whereas in Stata, all you can have is columns of data. So this will confuse Stata if you don't want to import this into Stata. So when you import it, you have to specify only column A and B, which is what this is showing here. If you do that using the file command in Stata, then we're going to go for an import command here. Spreadsheet, browse it, this one, we want the spreadsheet for Tajikistan, import first rows variables like that. So this is where it's going to get into a pickle because like this is just a mess here. So what you have to do is tell it by pressing this button, I'm only going to look at column B. So change that to B. It still looks like a mess, but it just ignores all that. So I'm only going to get those two rows there. And if you do that, press OK. I won't do it here because it's messed this up. But what you'll find is that what you get is it will tell you the code you want to put in. You can either press that and it will go ahead and import it, or on Tajikistan gives you the commands you need. So if you go to our do file, it's gradually building up. Here I've saved the data from Pakistan. Moving on to this next one. So load the data from Tajikistan. If you look at the result of doing it using the menu, you'll see that all it does is it adds this bit onto the command, cell range A1 to B94. So you can type it into your do file instead and only take those cells. If you don't do that, you'll get a mess in Stata. Okay, so we've got the data in. And that. Create the same kind of cluster bar chart as before to compare the responses of men and women. Just notice that I had not specifically asked you to do the recoding, but the analysis becomes much more simple and easy to understand if you do the recoding, and sometimes even becomes possible. So to repeat the thing before, it's a nuisance because you repeated it, but it's good because you repeated it. So this is literally to create this, all I did was copy the stuff from up here, paste it into down here, and just change things. Mutatis mutandis, I think they say in Latin, change what needed to be changed. So hopefully we can do, I'm not sure actually execute this, let's just execute the whole thing. And hopefully we can get to the browser and see that things are looking good. Yeah, so it's imported it, it's changed this so we can see what these numbers mean. Not at all, at least once a week, that's the internet access, got lots of not at all here, wow. And here's the males and females. So the next thing we can now do is do the graph. So if you adapt those commands as before for the graph, they come out something like this. So you want graph bar count as before over internet, so it's that numeric choice variable, which is an ordinal thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then sex is being in those two big clusters, the males and females. This, like before, just means that's the thing we're most interested in for counting, percentage, then the title and subtitle. So with any luck, that'll give us something that looks okay. And if you want more control over the colours and stuff, you can really explore the help file on that. Okay, well, that was quick. Good, that's better. Yeah, well, so you can see something looking very different here this time from the previous one we had. So looking at question 6. Question 6 says, what does this data suggest? Well, it suggests that there's not a lot of internet access in rural areas, which we know already. It also suggests that it's really highly skewed distribution, and that even though it's very unequal, it looks like females have got even worse access, like 80% not at all for men, 90% almost for women not at all, and at least once a week, more of a minority of men, like 18 or so, and it's really, really tiny minority for the women. So Seems like dire access for both men and women in the countryside, but even more dire for females than for males. So not a great situation. Okay, so I think these videos are getting too long, so we're going to go on to doing the test in the next video. So for now, thanks for watching.